I want you guys to really hear me when I say this. You ready? Here it goes. Fuck this game. Fuck the grind in this game. I painstakingly spent the last 2 days completing the rest of the remaining Pokédex. Everything is now rank 10. And yes, that includes the legendaries as well, which are needed, but not the mythicals. So I did not do the mythicals. Maybe one day the completionist in me will also get these 3 done, but not anytime soon. What? What say you take the Pokemon here in the... Oh. Wait, do I have to get this done first? How do I get the goddamn Shiny Charm? Fine. Give me. Wow, dude, this whole time I never did this? Big announcement, huh? Look at this. Look how extra this is. Ahem! Ladies, gentlemen, thank you so much for gathering here at my behest. We've some rather special news to share, so please lend us your ears if you'd be so kind. Today marks the fulfillment of a long-held dream of mine, and the fruition of the most earnest efforts of the entire Survey Corps. Yes, indeed, for you see, the Pokédex, our Corps' magnum opus, is finally, at long last, there was a lot of commas in that sentence, complete! Is this true? This fantastic achievement wouldn't have been possible if not for the hard work, no, the heroic efforts of our very own. Yeah. For his quelling of the frenzied Lord Cleavor all the way up to his all the way up to his battle against Dialga and Palkia atop mighty Mount mighty Mount Coronet. He tirelessly surveyed the Pokemon of this land while facing perils of the sort that would send most of us running for the hills. All this has led to our accomplishing what we can only be described... I read that wrong. What can only be described as a remarkable triumph of human effort, the completion of a Pokédex. You're still very much a mysterious stranger who fell from the sky. And I know not whether your actions were motivated by your own curiosity or a genuine desire to help the people of our village, but it doesn't matter. You have a great you have been a great asset to us, and I'm truly grateful for everything you've done. Perhaps I should also study under the professor, so I might learn more about Pokemon. Silene is quite capable of handling the duties of commander, I am sure. Commendable work. In recognition of your effort, I present you with this Shiny Charm. There we go. The fucking Shiny Charm in this game after all these years. Tonight's potato mochi are my treat. I'll make them extra tasty. In celebration of his and the Survey Corps' great achievements, everyone feasted and danced till dawn lightened the skies. We danced until dawn? What you gonna do, sprinkle some MSG on top of your mochis? Anyway, so finally, after all these years, I finally got the Shiny Charm in this game. Huh? There's more? Yesterday was incredible, wasn't it? Everyone was so thrilled with our work. What do you mean, our? But I don't believe our Pokemon surveying work ends here. I'd like to try my hand at developing new crafting recipes and techniques too. Wherever our research takes us, I look forward to sharing our discoveries together. And she just vanished before my eyes. Anyways. What? Nope. Oh, it's at the top. Now we have the Shiny Charm. I think I'm supposed to... Yeah, I'm supposed to organize. What is this? Old verse. Huh? When did I get this? Anyways, Shiny Charm. So now we are fully armed with what we need to shiny hunt this. the Pokédex page is complete. The shiny charm is obtained. I almost said achieved. Now, the grind actually begins. I hated doing the grind these past 2 days because it took away... Oh, look, there those two are. Huh. After all these years, now I finally have the other two. Neat. Anyways, so... No new shinies since last time, but... I did start evolving a handful of my alphas, and by evolve, I mean like only 2. I evolved this, and I evolved this. I'm not going to evolve these yet, just in case I get an alpha evolution, and then I just evolved one for no reason. And as I was looking, there's really not a lot I need to evolve. I need to evolve this into a Weird Ear. Cleavor and Scizor. I did evolve this as well. Basculegion, Magmortar. That's really... Oh, yeah, also Electrode. I don't have too much to evolve. I thought I would have more. I guess I kind of just luckily got all the alphas evolved, like, separately. Okay, after all these years, I finally got the shiny charm in this game. So, we should have the best odds possible right now. Outside of massive mass outbreaks, which slightly increases the odds as well. Okay, let me see. I need to see where they spawned again. Right, so it's a very corner. Very corner of the map. I don't know if this is the most efficient way to do this hunt, but this is what I'm going to be doing. And you can't stop me. So now... Oh, I forgot to show you, too. Maybe you already spotted it as I was scrolling past. Hold on, take a look. While I was grinding, I did also get an Alpha Cherim. So I finally got the Alpha Cherubi line done. Wait, no. No, I already got an Alpha... What did I get before? Whatever. Now I got these two. I finally have an Alpha Cherim and an Alpha Cherubi. I got that while grinding for the Pokédex. So, thankfully, I was a little less mad, you know? I really didn't like having to take time off of the Alpha hunt to work on the Pokédex, to work towards this hunt. I really did not like having to take time off from grinding and hunting to grind for the Dex. But in the process, I got the Alpha, so it's like, okay, now I'm less mad. Now, the only things I have left to get Alpha are the Space-Time Distortion exclusives. Yay, that'll be fun. I have one Alpha Shieldon, so I still need a Bastiodon, which I should have by now, but I was an idiot and failed that. So I still need an Alpha Bastiodon, I still need Alpha Cranidos and Rampardos. I need the entire Porygon and Magnemite line Alpha. And fingers crossed, I'm kind of banking on while I'm doing that, I also get 2 more Alpha EVs. Let's see. So, no Mime Jr. Okay, so was it yesterday? When was this? If it wasn't yesterday, then it was the day before. I think it was day before, because that would have been Monday. Oh, nope. I see here it says yesterday. Because I sent the screenshot on Discord and it says yesterday. Alright, so yesterday in Pokemon Go, a brand new event has started. The Flying Taxi, whatever. Any spawns down there? No, so there's a good chance that Mime Jr. will still spawn. Yesterday, a new Pokemon was added into Pokemon Go, that being Squawkabilly. And would you believe? I got a hundo. First day of the event, and I got a hundo. I got a yellow hundo Squawkabilly. Now, sadly, I caught this in an Ultra Ball, because Squawkabilly is actually kind of tough to catch. It has a pretty low catch rate. And with that high of a CP, I used an Ultra Ball. But here's me coping. At least the Ultra Ball matches color scheme-wise. You guys know me. I only catch in regular Pokeballs. So when something special... When I catch something special, like a Hundo or a 0% IV, and not a Pokeball, then that really sucks. Raids, shiny legendaries, you kind of have no choice but to use Premier Balls there. Okay, so, last time there was a couple things I forgot to talk about. And actually, speaking of what I forgot to talk about, I also want to mention now that for this hunt, I am specifically going for a male Shiny Alpha Mime Jr. Why? Because it's a Mr. Rime. It's in the name. So I am adding that extra layer onto what I'm... adding that extra layer on top of what I want. If I get an Alpha Shiny that is female, well, the hunt is going to continue. So fingers crossed, when we get a Shiny Alpha... fingers crossed, I win on that coin flip. So yes, I am going for specifically a male Shiny Alpha Mime Jr. If I can get an Outbreak for it, then... Actually, I don't know if I'm going to do the permutation method for it. Even though that would probably be the best course of action. Instead of just doing it like this and banking on RNG. I should probably have that list of permutations pulled up just in case we get it. Like, right now. No Mime Juniors. And also, the Graveler spawning down there, so that should mean that there's no Mime Junior spawning. But I'll go check anyways. We can establish that yes or no if they spawn when something is spawning there. I'm pretty sure it's no. Okay, so, couple things I forgot to mention last time. We did get the official first trailer for Shrek 5. And I gotta say, the film looks horrendous. The film looks hideous. Oh my goodness. You guys know last month, it was actually the 25th anniversary for the release of the first Shrek film? May 18th, 2001. That was the 25th anniversary of the first Shrek film. I completely forgot to mention that, but yeah, that was last month. 25 years ago, the first Shrek film came out. So, the trailer for Shrek 5 looks hideous. Any initial shinies here? Ugh, Graveler. Another shiny I still have yet to continue the hunt for. In regular Diamond, I'm hunting for a shiny Graveler at Victory Road because I want to use the Master Ball. I haven't touched that hunt in quite a long time. But anyways, so yeah, Shrek 5. What have they done to my boys, to my characters? Why did they make Gingy twerk in the trailer? The art style looks pretty bad. They did not go the Sonic route where they fixed the art style, but then again, I'm sure they were pretty deep into animation for the film already. Ooh! Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so I'm gonna do this so I can get my berries back. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were deep into animation, so they couldn't reanimate the whole film, which is a shame. But the art style looks hideous. What they're doing with some characters. We should have known that when the first official teaser dropped, and it was showing all those Shrek memes, that we were in trouble. But they have completely solidified that now with Gingy twerking with gumdrops for his ass. Oh boy. I was looking forward to Shrek 5 when it was announced, and then I was less excited when I saw the teaser, and now I am very not excited. Okay, I'm gonna save the game. Oh god. I was trying to say, I'm gonna save the game before I get too close, just in case of anything. God, Mr. Mime is pretty annoying to take down in this game because of that light screen. And the stupid auto, the auto aim in this game, it's horrible. Something's alpha. Yo, this is supposed to be a Mime Jr. outbreak. Why are there 3 Mr. Mimes? What the fuck? Yo, I've been scammed. I have been scammed. This ain't no Mime Jr. outbreak. Ugh, at least this one doesn't have dodgeball textures. Shrek 5, his sons, why did they give them the fuckboy hairstyles, the broccoli hair? Christ almighty, and then his daughter, like the piercings as well. Although they did fix one continuity error with the color of Felicia's eyes. So at least they fixed that. And then we also got I think in the trailer, like in the background, we got a brief glimpse of what Donkey and Dragon's grown-up kids look like. And they look like, they just look like Donkey, like a spitting image of Donkey. But just with dragon aspects. They kind of just copy and pasted Donkey's character model and then just added some extra details. I'm not really looking forward to Shrek 5. I'll watch it. I'll still watch it, you know. I, among a lot of people, grew up watching the Shrek movies. You wanna know what's funny? I remember watching literally the Chinese dub of Shrek, the first Shrek movie. I actually remember watching that. You know, this was a time when I was super young. For God's sake, the Shrek movie came out a couple months before I was born. Like, the Shrek movie is older than me. Anyway, so yeah, I remember growing up and every now and then watching the Chinese dub. of the Shrek movie. Now, that's not because I chose it, because, you know, I was still a young kid. It was just whoever put it on for me put on the Chinese version as well. As a kid, I was thinking, why does this sound different? You know, this was before I could differentiate, like, oh, this is a Chinese version, this is the English version. I particularly remember the scene where Shrek saved Fiona and is running across the... Wait, no, not across the bridge. Running from Dragon. Shrek yells, run. I remember that scene in Chinese. He literally just shouts, power! As in, like, you know, run in Chinese. Yeah. So, the Shrek... I almost said the fifth... What? Shrek 5. Not really looking forward to it. Who knows, maybe they'll pump out a banger. All the Shrek movies have been pretty good. Especially Shrek 2. I also like the spin-offs. I like both Puss in Boots movies. I really wish Shrek 5 kept the Puss in Boots Last Wish art style, because that art style... Now that's what I like to see in terms of changing art styles. Not this hideous art style. So, Shrek 5 aside, there was another movie trailer that came out, and that is Disney's Hexed. So I watched the trailer, and I'm thinking, this does not look that good. The storyline seems okay. It kind of just makes me think it's a rehash of Wizards of the Waverly Place. Wizards of the Waverly Place? It just makes me think of Wizards of Waverly Place. I don't know, the story doesn't seem that interesting. The animation looks generic. You know those memes? Those AI memes of people saying Disney's and then some atrocious title card? Like those AI memes of Disney art styles? It looks exactly like that, and there's a reason those memes look like... Did I hear something? Am I nuts, or did I hear something? Hold on, let's try that again. Maybe I'm just going crazy. Yeah, there's a reason those memes look the way they do. It's because Disney 3D animation all looks the same. You know what I wish we got again? I don't know, recently I got the urge to listen to Make a Man Out of You from the Mulan movie. And it got me thinking, damn, why can't we get movies like this anymore? Okay, I was just hearing things. Why can't we get movies like this anymore? Hand-drawn 2D animation where you can actually tell there was soul put into it? Why can't we get movies like this anymore? So Hex does not look very interesting, does not look very good. I don't know if I'll watch it. You know, a lot of times growing up, the only reason I watched Disney movies is because my sister would watch them and I would just be present. I think that was the case for Tangled and Frozen. That was definitely the case for the older movies like Little Mermaid, Mulan, Cinderella. But, you know, my sister and I have grown up. My sister doesn't watch those Disney movies anymore. And, well, the newer slop doesn't really interest me. Not like those old school 2D hand-drawn animations that actually have soul put into them. Actually has passion. Ah. There's also news about the next Transformers movie. It's rumored right now that Michael Bay will not be directing, but rather he'll be producing. Which, oh, I'm not sure how to feel about that, but at least Michael Bay is going to be attached to the project if this is true. So, at least there's a victory there. So, you know, it's like there's rumors about the next Transformers movie, but this is the Transformers movie after that supposed G.I. Joe crossover film. Like, where's that? What's going on with that? I mentioned in the past that I do not want a crossover movie like this. Mostly because I don't care about G.I. Joe. I don't know anything about G.I. Joe, so I don't care about it. I care about Transformers. But, I mean, I'll still watch it. I won't know any of the G.I. Joe characters or anything they reference. I mean, it'd still be cool to see two IPs cross over, but I don't care. The G.I. Joe movie could not be made, and I really wouldn't care. I just want more Transformers movies. Like, what are we doing? You had one failure with The Last Night, and that derailed your entire IP. It's like, what is the matter with you, Paramount? Are you forgetting the bags you made back in the early 2000s? You have a gold mine of an IP, and you're not utilizing it! You fools! Stupid corporations. No Mime Jr. this time. What else was there for me to talk about? I'm sure there was more. So, anyways, today we once again only have one show to go over, and that being the next episode of From. I did say last time that I was hoping to, this time, go over the rest of the season, because there would have been 3 episodes. But turns out that the final episode for this season, season 4, it hasn't been out, isn't out yet, as of this moment. So we're still 1 episode short. That's coming out, I think the 27th, 28th? And today's the 24th, so there's still a couple days before the season finale comes out, I think. I haven't really been keeping up with the dates. So yeah, not gonna go over the rest of the episodes today, obviously. I'm just gonna go over one. And only one. I could have gone over Spider Noir as well, because that's another show recently I have yet to go over, but I decided not to. You know, I did watch the episode before, like a while ago. Only the first episode though. I was gonna go over it today, but I decided against that because, first of all, I didn't have time to watch anything else today. However, I should have time next time. And I do want to go over another show as well. You know, another show, a certain web show, a web series that only has 9 episodes and, you know, just finished a couple days ago, maybe last week. So there being 9 episodes of that, and I think 10 episodes of Spider Noir, it would get confusing if I did 1 episode of Spider Noir today, and the next time it's like, alright, episode 2 of Spider Noir, episode 1 of this next show, and then so on. Right? Just to make it less confusing for myself, I'll hold back on that. Man, why am I even slowing down? The shiny sound effect would signal to me that there's something. I don't even need to see if they're shiny. You know? I just need to see if... I just need to hear if they're shiny, and then I look if they're alpha. So I was space-time distortion hunting all day today. I kind of just left my Switch on the whole day, just waiting for STDs to spawn. Ugh. You know, if you're wondering how I got the Pokedex done so fast, some of them I used Blaine's Shiny Blaine's website to trade myself something. That way it will count as me catching another. Like Ursaluna. I needed to catch one more Ursaluna, and I'll be damned if I'm going to do that, because Ursaluna's such a bitch to get in this game. And only this game. It's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I ain't doing that. I'll just trade myself one. So we did also get the trailer for Hell of a Boss Season 3, and I didn't watch the trailer yet, because I haven't watched the show yet. I still need to. That's another show I have yet to watch, because, you know, the trailer for Hazbin Hotel, or rather the announcement for Hazbin Hotel, we're going to get the crossovers and interactions between the characters from the two shows in Season 3. So, I do need to watch that show before Hazbin Hotel Season 3. And I will. There's a lot of things for me to watch, okay? There's a couple of movies that came out a couple months ago I have not gone over yet. Ready or Not 2, Exit 8, Project Hail Mary. And then there's movies that are lining up right now that I have not watched or, you know, have yet to go over. Scary Movie 6, Supergirl, which also, I hear that Scary Movie 6 sucked. A friend of mine went to see it with his girlfriend, and I'm just... First of all, I was like, you fucking went without me? But then he told me, yo, we just sat there, we barely smiled, let alone laughed. I'm like, damn. Could it be possible that you simply just did not understand the references? He tells me that his theater was dead silent. Hardly anyone laughed. It's like, oh shit. But I'm not going to let this sway me from going or not. I will make my own opinion on this. I will watch it for myself and form my own opinion. I mean, come on, the Wayans brothers, the Kings have returned. And you're telling me that they did not do a good job? I mean, it's not impossible. Damn, I was so excited for this film too, and to hear it wasn't good. I'll have to watch it and judge for myself. Maybe it'll be like the Mario Galaxy movie, God forbid. I was so excited for that, and that turned out to be absolute dog shit. The Galaxy movie was a huge waste of time. It was genuinely bad. I hear that Masters of the Universe flopped as well. That's a bit of a shame. I didn't watch it, and I have no interest in watching it because I am not a fan of He-Man. As in, like, I never really watched anything He-Man related, so I'm not a fan of the franchise. I don't care about the franchise. But damn, Masters of the Universe isn't a small IP. It should have a pretty big fandom to where that film should have done relatively well. And this isn't a film I was following because I had no interest in it. Supposedly, it was in development hell for a very long time. I guess I recall hearing stuff about that in the past. Anyway, so aside from films, we have some gaming news. So the Steam Machine, the price for that is $1,000+. You know, I am just sitting back and just waiting patiently, watching for when the gaming industry will collapse. Look, I don't want it to happen, but the trajectory that we're heading in, let's face it, there's a very good chance that that will happen. Because prices are going up, you know, gamers are getting outpriced. They can't afford this stuff. The Steam Machine being $1,000, that's not affordable gaming. Gaming, you know, is a hobby. It's something to do for fun. But we're getting priced out of doing so. The average person can't just willy-nilly spend $1,000 on a gaming console. Because at that point, just buy a computer. Build a PC, because that's the whole point of the Steam Deck. Wait, no. Save the game first. The Steam Deck, you can just play Steam games on your TV. I never really had the desire to do so, but, you know, to each their own, I suppose. The Steam Deck. The Steam Machine. And this is without the controller, too. It's nuts. It's crazy. Now, it's not exactly their fault, you know? They priced it accordingly to the specs or whatever. Everyone's blaming AI because AI is being powered by all the computer chips, all the parts, leaving nothing for actual developers, actual companies, because AI companies are taking them all. So that means the price is going up, there's a shortage of these components, and thus, the companies, they need to charge us more. They need to charge the consumer more to offset the amount of production. This world is on the brink of collapse. The gaming industry is on the brink of collapse. I tell you, I swear to you. I'm calling it now. Because Nintendo opened the floodgates with $80 games, USD, which I don't know what you crybabies are talking about. Over here in Canada, it's $100+. So yeah, Nintendo opened the floodgate for $80 games, and consoles, the prices are only going up. They're not going down. They're only going up. And think about future generations, future consoles, future games. They're not going down, and if they're only going up, won't be long before $80 games becomes $90 games, becomes $100 games. It's like, where's the limit, right? What's the limit? So at some point, they're going to have no choice but to lower the price, or just take the L and accept that ain't nobody buying a $100 game. Right? So, if the companies can't get the parts, or whatever, I mean, these are billion-dollar companies, so there should be no excuses, but if these companies charge too much and they're not willing to budge because the economy is shit, then people can't buy their games, and then companies, they don't get their... They don't get good news to give to the investors, yada yada yada. It's like, what is wrong with this world? I swear, gaming is on the brink of collapse. I would have said this about Hollywood a couple years ago, but Hollywood seems to be doing pretty good now. At least they're making relatively good projects again. The whole thing about projects flopping, that's still an issue there. But the concern right now is more towards the gaming industry. The gaming industry is on the brink of collapse, at least to me. Because Nintendo Switch 2, people are saying barely has any games. The PlayStation 5, people are saying barely has any games. I don't care about Xbox. I haven't cared about Xbox in a very long time. So I don't know if the Xbox consoles have a good library of exclusives or not. What is the matter with the world? Anyways, aside from the Steam machine, so we finally got the price announcement for Grand Theft Auto 6. And to everyone's surprise, it's not a $100 game at launch. It's $80 games, USD. So all my poor fellow Canadians, we had to fork over 100 plus. Yo, my fellow Canadians out there, can you believe those pussies down in America complaining about $80 games? Anyway, so $80 USD for GTA 6. Now, we will never know, but maybe in an alternate timeline, if Nintendo never opened the floodgates for $80 games, maybe GTA 6 will be $70 at launch. We'll never know. So the price is kind of a rare W, I guess. They absolutely could have charged $100 or more, but they didn't. They chose to stay with Nintendo's standards, or the bar that Nintendo set, and only go for 80. However, that's the only good side here, because there's a lot of downsides to the rest of the story as well. They're selling the standard version for 80, and then they're selling like a definitive version for 100. And the definitive version, if you buy that for 100, you get access to stores, customization, character skins, whatever. It's like, what? Wait a second, you're paywalling certain features and customization from the game. You're paywalling that to the definitive edition that is more expensive. That's already not a good look. Paywalling certain in-game features. That is a horrible idea. And then, to make things worse, they have announced that the game is going to be digital only. Even if you buy a physical game, you get the game case, but there's no disc inside. It's only going to be a download code. It's like, what the fuck? Why are you ruining the hype people have for such a monumental game? What is the matter with people these days? As much as I want to play Grand Theft Auto 6, there's a couple of very big hurdles in the way of that. First of all, I don't have a PlayStation 5. I don't. And believe me, I want to play GTA 6. I want to play it on release date. So if I want to play it on release date, and also I want to play it on console, not on PC, because I suck with keyboard controls. If I want to play GTA 6, I need to buy a PlayStation 5, which, because I don't already have a PS5 like standard, I may as well fork over the extra cash and get a PS5 Pro. If they had a disc version, let's say hypothetically, I don't know about the future, but as of right now, let's say hypothetically, they did release a PlayStation 5 Pro disc version. Canadian, that's probably looking at about like $1,500, $1,500. And then, probably like $120, $130 game Canadian. So to experience all of GTA 6 in its full glory, I need to fork over probably about like $1,700. Why do you think I was really debating skipping this generation of console, taking the astronomical, colossal L, and just not playing GTA 6, at least not until a supposed PlayStation 6 comes out? God damn, what is wrong with the world? I mean, holding out hope that maybe one day, maybe a year or two, they release a genuine physical copy of GTA 6 on a disc. I mean, that's just hard cope at this point. That's some hopium right there. Uh, I mean, when I was young, GTA 5 came out, I wanted to play that so badly, but I didn't have the game. I watched PewDiePie play it. Those videos were still hilarious. Man. And yeah, as a kid, when GTA 5 came out, I couldn't get it right away. Because it was one of those adult games that I needed an adult to buy for me. And I remember going to Walmart with my dad, buying the game, asking him, Dad, there's this game I want, and he bought it for me, not knowing what he just bought for me. My dad is old, doesn't really know the internet as well as us younglings. In the future, if I ever have a kid and my kid wants me to buy him a game, I'm gonna do my research first. Gonna like, okay, show me what game you want me to buy you, son. Let me make sure that you are mature enough to indulge in such art. And then one day, if I have a kid, my kid shows me GTA 7 when my kid is only 10 years old, and I'm just like, oh, hell no, you are not buying. I'm gonna buy it for myself, but you not playing it, son. Anyway, so there was a bit of good news with GTA 6, but a whole lot of accompanying bad news as well. Wow, this is pretty full, and yet no Mime Jr., huh? By the way, if I find an Eevee outbreak, then I'm gonna try for it, because I still need 2 alphas. I'm gonna try. I'll see if there is anything over there. Is there anything else to go over? Oh yeah, so something that was revealed quite a while ago that I don't think I ever went over. So, regarding The Boys, or rather, The Boys Diabolical, that animated spin-off, that one episode that I was wondering, how does this fit into the timeline? Because this doesn't fit at all. Well, the developers or whoever actually came out and said that that one episode takes place in the comic universe. So it's not connected to the TV universe, that one episode. And I'm just thinking, I knew it. I knew that episode didn't fit. The fact that the characters looked like the comic counterparts as well should have given it away. I saw people online also point out that we now know what Homelander sounds like in the comics, and he sounds also like Anthony Starr. And also, normally we get comic tie-ins to shows and movies and whatnot. It's rare that we see the opposite. Just a single episode tie into the comics. Ah, well, there's our first alpha that's not shiny. You know, I think this is the first time that I'm actually putting in the effort and shiny hunting for an alpha in this game. In the past, I've only just shiny hunted, period, and was just done with it. Like, when this game first came out, I really wanted a shiny Hisuian Zorua. And then the shiny Alpha Gardevoir, on top of every other shiny Alpha I have, which is not that many, you know, they just happened. This is the first time I'm actually hunting, genuinely hunting, for a shiny Alpha. I mean, there is another shiny alpha that I may want to do one day. Or let's face it, I'll do it one day. Just not anytime soon. And that being a shiny alpha unknown. Specifically the letter A. Oh boy, let's see how many phases that will take me. Okay, we're good. We're clear. That place is clear. Even if I were to buy PS5, there's only so many games I would play on it. GTA 6, Mortal Kombat, maybe Astrobot. But like, there wouldn't be many games that I would play on it. You know, Persona, I could play that, but I'm kind of thinking like, what are some really graphically challenging games? You know, not exactly like Persona. I mean, I still need a PS5 for Persona 6. I'm sure. And that is what sucks about new generations of consoles. The exclusives kind of forces your hand to buy a whole new system if you want that sweet, sweet game. Or you can just play the long game and wait for the following generation. So you skip a generation each time. Maybe if you're a Viltrumite and you have nothing but time, then sure. You know, so today I was watching a video by No Villains Are Safe about how many OSHA violations the Krusty Krab would have. My sister heard it and she was thinking, oh, one day you are going to sit with your niece or nephew, your nibbling, and you're gonna watch the old SpongeBob shows together. You know, we're gonna put on the old Pokemon movies, the ones that were good, the ones from the 90s. It's like, shit. And, we haven't had a Pokemon movie in a very long time. They stopped making Pokemon movies, or at least Pokemon movies connected to the anime, back in X and Y. During the Sun and Moon Pokemon anime, they made movies that were completely disconnected. What a stupid idea. And then the Pokemon movies just kind of died. What a shame. But anyway, so my sister and I, we do plan that if we each have kids someday, which seems like that'll probably be the case for my sister sooner than later. Yeah, we're not gonna show our kids the garbage, terrible content nowadays. No, we'll show them the content that we grew up on, and I will do exactly that. If I have a kid, I'm gonna show my kid Looney Tunes, Pokemon, SpongeBob. Like, if I have a kid, I would show my kid the old school cartoons that I grew up on. You know, I'll show my kid Dora, Max and Ruby, Backyardigans. I'm not showing my kid the garbage slop these days. And remember what I said about like YouTube Kids or like content made for kids nowadays? If you think about it, one day in the future, those content will become obscure. Because the toddlers and kids watching them now, they're not going to remember, right? Okay, there's a Mime Jr. there once again. Good. Yeah, the kids aren't going to remember. And the adults, the parents, well, they're not going to remember either. They just put something on to keep the kids entertained. They don't remember the faces, the names, the YouTube channels. So if one day, like 20 years from now, those same kids are going to ask, Mom, Dad, what did I watch growing up from YouTube Kids 20 years ago? It's like, I don't know. I didn't pay attention. And by the time that those kids are grown up, well, there's going to be new creators, new content for the children of that generation. So the kids' content now will become obscure and almost lost media. I mean, they'll still be preserved by the internet, but by then, who's going to look up content that kids watched 20 years ago? Right? I mean, that's different from someone like me. You know, those are kid shows that I grew up on and still remember. Right? Like, we're not talking actual baby show. What? No, we are talking about baby shows. Like the things that you leave your kids to watch on the iPad kind of thing. What is this music? You know what that move reminded me of just now? So, I have a genuine question for people who are, like, prone to seizures because of flashing lights. Like, I have a genuine question. So, if a bunch of, like, quick flashing bright lights can cause you to have an episode, can have you to have a seizure, what about, you know how sometimes when you're in a car, the sun is setting or whatever, and then the sunlight just flashes a ton because you're, like, passing a bunch of trees? What about then? Are you at risk in those moments? Okay, reported Pokemon seems to be gone. So no second horde. Well, anyways, so let's stop wasting time. Let's go over that From episode. So this is from Season 4, Episode 8. Remember, the end of the last episode, Roger just barged into Colony House. So this time we follow up with the aftermath of Roger's attack. Donna's there, just, you know, on her feet, wondering what the hell happened. Sophia asks Boyd if the totems worked against the monsters. No. No, they didn't. And that storyline kind of just does not come back up the whole episode. So that was a kind of a waste of a storyline. You know, the entire storyline of the last episode, and it is just a throwaway line of acknowledgement at the beginning of this episode. The totems, if they work on the monsters, no. No, they don't. And there's, like, no acknowledgement of any of that storyline in this episode. Anyway, so Ellis gets Boyd and Donna. Fatima explains to them how she saw out of the monster's eyes, and is the reason Kenny didn't die. She also shows her stomach, which now has black veins all over it. So something is going bad with Fatima. This poor girl just cannot catch a break. So Ethan is drawing pictures of everyone to not forget them. He even drew a picture of Tien Chen, whatever Kenny's mom's name was. Yeah, he has taken what Victor said to heart, how he needs to be prepared. He didn't say if, but when everyone dies, he'll remember them because of the pictures. I don't know, that's kind of crazy. He didn't say if everyone dies, he said when everyone dies. Okay, so remember how Jade was building a sculpture almost of the map instead of drawing it on a piece of paper? Well, Boyd looks at Jade's map and knows that they are screwed without a good plan. So Boyd tells him to figure something better out. And Jade jokes about, well, why don't I just make a hot air balloon and fly us all out? Bruh, that is exactly what I have been saying. I have been saying, why don't you guys try to fly out of here? You know? How would that work? Bruh, he said almost word for word exactly what I have been saying. I can't believe they actually acknowledged it. Anyway, so he tells Kenny, Jade tells Kenny, no, Boyd, my bad. Boyd tells Kenny to maybe survey the tunnels first before actually following through with a plan, whatever plan they decide. And then Boyd hears gunshots. But those were in his head. Those were only in his head. So he heads over to the clinic to check on Fatima. Henry, he goes back to help in the kitchen because he needs something to occupy him. You know, he's been seeing things, and he's thinking that, this place is starting to get to him, and also because he's been drinking. So he wants something to distract himself, to keep him occupied. So he helps out with the kitchen. As he goes into the kitchen, Miranda's song also starts playing on the jukebox, and we get a flashback. It's the same song. It's the same song that he plays in his car, the same one he still has. Okay, so our characters, they burn Roger's body. Good idea. Because last episode, Boyd did mention that the cemetery is filling up. Like, there's no more space to bury any more bodies. And after what happened to Roger, him coming back for a rampage, they burn Roger's body this time, as Tabitha and Ethan go see Victor. Tabitha wants Victor to tell him it's not true. Nothing he said is true. Ethan will not be alone here. But Ethan instead wants Victor to teach him how to survive alone. We see throughout the episode that Tabitha is hard in denial about Ethan possibly being here alone, if the pattern continues. The exact same pattern that Victor said. Yo, Tabitha, you need to acknowledge there is a possibility. You don't know what'll happen. You can give him a promise you won't leave him all you want, but you have to acknowledge it could happen. Fatima gets checked out by Christy, and she fears that she might be turning into one of those monsters. Because she was thinking, the monsters used to be human, right? You dissected one, and it had human organs. What if after she gave birth to one of them, respawned one of them, the veins on her stomach means that she is dying from the inside out and turning into one of the monsters herself? Like, if that's the case, then this place, yo, our characters just cannot catch a break. Because, think about it. You kill one of the monsters respawn by making one of the female inhabitants pregnant to give birth and respawn one of the monsters. And then after that monster is reborn, the host, the mother, the victim, also dies and turns into another one of the monsters. So killing the monsters actually does nothing. In fact, all it does is create another one. Yo, if that's the case, my god, man, this place just doesn't ever let up. Anyway, so Marielle tries to argue that maybe this is a good thing. Exactly what I was saying too. If Fatima is able to control one of the monsters, is able to see through the eyes of one of the monsters, they could use that to their advantage. But Ellis is hard rejecting that idea. Ellis is pretty tense about his wife just never catching a break in this godforsaken place. Let's see. Jade wants Kenny to try to convince Boyd. This is likely a plan that not everyone who goes in comes back out. And that's like a recurring theme of the episode, that whatever plan they come up with, they have to be prepared that not everyone who goes in is coming out alive. Another goddamn I almost said Fletchender. Another goddamn Staravia, huh? What the hell? Is it you? You're not the shiny one. What happened to the shiny one? What? What happened to the shiny one? Is it you? Are you the shiny one? No? Wait, where's the shiny one? Yo, am I nuts? Is it you? There we go. Another shiny Staravia. Yeah, Jade knows that Boyd will listen to Kenny, so he wants Kenny to try to convince Boyd that whatever plan they come up with, it's more than likely that not everyone will come back. And Jade makes a somewhat good point that no one has ever left because no one has ever made the hard decisions. While I agree with you, Jade, I'm also thinking, what do you mean? Boyd has been doing nothing but making the hard decisions. Maybe not on the same scale as something like this, where willingly knowing that a plan will get some people killed, probably. Maybe not to that level, but still, Boyd has been making all of the hard decisions so far. And Kenny also does call him out on his shit. Because, asking, will he go down to the tunnels? If he knows that there's a chance some people, like him, may not come back? And he's just silent. Anyway, so Boyd finally tells Christy the truth that he is still seeing and hearing things. And according to him, it's all connected to Abby. Meanwhile, Sophia goes to the sheriff's station, where she searches for her yellow suit. Part of me understands why they kept the yellow suit, but part of me also thinks, why didn't they just burn it? If they know the yellow suit is associated with a dangerous being. Anyway, so yeah. After this, Sophia goes back home where Sarah was worried about her and tries to comfort her. Sophia putting up a great act. Like, I'm just not really... I don't think I'm okay. I was just looking for a change of clothes, because this place... Oh my, it's really getting to me. I was gonna point this out, but like, what would be the point of pointing it out? The fact that Sophia, she hasn't changed her clothes at all. She's still wearing that smelly dress, I'm sure. Well, at least they somewhat acknowledge the fact that she hasn't changed her clothes, because Sarah offers to go with her to get a change of clothes, but that never happened in the episode. So whatever. Victor takes Ethan and Tabitha to his truck and teaches Ethan how to survive. He also explains how, when he first came out of that root cellar and everyone was dead, the boy in white helped him, guided Victor to the truck, which was filled with canned peaches. Well, the boy in white also helped Victor in other ways. Victor also tells Ethan, or rather shows Ethan, how not to be lonely, because this place is scariest when you're lonely. So he shows Ethan two objects, a teddy bear and like a cardboard cutout with a smiley face on it. He shows Ethan both of these objects dressed in Miranda and Eloise's clothes to help him not be so lonely. Yeah, Tabitha puts a stop to this and swears to Ethan that he won't be alone and she'll never... Wait, and that she will get him out of here. Tabitha, I know that this cycle you are super close to figuring this out, but you really need to at least acknowledge the possibility that Ethan may actually be alone here. Like, deep down, you know it's possible. You know what Victor says is true. Well, not what Victor says is true, but what Victor said could be the case. Could happen again. At the dinner, Bacta drops a tray and makes Victor... Wait, no, not Victor. Makes Henry think he's in the hospital again. So in his dream, Victor explains that Henry was in a care facility ever since the acid trip, and he had a bad reaction to it. So in this timeline of events, Henry had an acid trip with Miranda, and he had a bad reaction to it. He was like comatose ever since. In this timeline, Victor also has a son. Henry has a grandson, and Eloise is alive and is a school teacher. We don't see Eloise, though. But according to the fantasy, she's on her way. Okay, there's another alpha... Oh, is there another one there? No, that's a mime. That's a Mr. Mime. Another alpha Mime Jr., which is not shiny. Anyway, so Henry does snap back into reality, though. And he leaves the diner. Fatima explains to Ellis that she should try to control the monster with this chance that she has. With this opportunity. And Ellis still denies it. And then, wow, who could have guessed this? Ellis finally explains why he is so angry this episode. Ellis is really just scared he'll lose Fatima. If he loses her, then he has no home to go back to. Aww. It's like, wow, who could have guessed this was his motivation? As cheesy as it is, yeah, that's like always the same motivation, it's the same thing. Christy wants to talk to Marielle that what she said to Fatima was out of line. And I'm thinking, are you serious? Like, I'm on Marielle's side. Even she was like, are you serious? Because Christy doesn't want... Ooh, look, an EV outbreak. I'm gonna go for it. Maybe I can get an alpha. Quick little detour. Christy claims that she doesn't want those crazy ideas being put into Fatima's mind because she is very unwell right now. Unstable, given everything that's happened to her in this godforsaken place. And then Christy even puts her foot down, like, she is my patient. Anything that you have to do or say to her goes through me first. It's like, goddamn, man. It's like... But I agree with Marielle. This is a really big opportunity. Like, genuinely, we may lose Fatima in the process. But, you know, for the greater good. So Jade makes the discovery. Jade realizes that the chamber with the bones, you know, the chamber with only one entrance and one exit, it does have another exit. It does have a second exit. The hole in the ceiling where the roots made that symbol. So Jade has his eureka moment. Okay, so Kenny goes to the station where Boyd knows someone was in there and took the yellow suit. And this is when Jade runs in and tells Boyd he knows how to go in and out the bottle tree. And he tells him to follow. He tells them to follow him to the bottle tree. Briefly, we see Sophia let herself in to the Matthews residence and take all the photos Ethan drew. And it's like, once again, what I said last time, nobody locking doors. But then I thought about it some more, and I thought, you know what? In a way, it kind of makes sense, you know? Nobody has keys to the doors, to the homes here. But then again, it's like, okay, you go out during the day, you don't lock your doors, fine. But nighttime? But nighttime, when the monsters roam, you should lock your doors, right? Tell me you lock your doors at night. Tell me you're not just banking on the talismans. Anyway, so yeah, Sophia takes all of Ethan's drawings for some reason. Crap. Okay, so Tabitha explains to Ethan why this time will be different, you know? If they have failed countless times in the past, why might this time be different? Tabitha explains that this time she has the memories that Miranda didn't. And that's the key. Speaking of which, Miranda led her to Victor and to Henry. So Miranda may have been the key to get them home. Just not alive. Anyway, so Jade brings Boyd and Kenny to the bottle tree, tells them, and reminds us, that the roots grew into the bottle tree. So they are standing directly on top of the chamber where the children's bones are held. Stupid fucking targeting system in this game. I think that's it. I think there's only these two Eevees left. Okay, so no Alpha Eevee here. Okay, so Jade comes up with a plan. Jade wants one group to use cars and chains to yank the tree out at the same time as the second group goes down to the tunnels, digs up the bones, and thus they can make an exit for them on the spot. Because the monsters, they would not expect it. They would not expect literally the ceiling to the chamber be yanked out and for there to be another exit. That plan could work. Only there are a couple of glaring issues there. One, obviously they would have to go in during the day where the monsters are asleep. But if them being present in the tunnels don't wake them up, if they tiptoe and sneak right past the monsters, they don't wake up, well, kind of yanking a tree out with all of its roots would wake them up. And when they're awake, and there's a big hole in the ceiling, well, they would also need to lower a rope, pull them out, and they can only do that really like one at a time. So, unless there's like 1, 2, probably maximum 3 people in the tunnels, not all of them are gonna make it out. But that's probably the best plan that they have so far. 2 groups. One group goes down the tunnel, and another group yanks out the tree and extracts the poor souls who may be trapped down there. This plan may work, but Boyd wants a plan B. Because Boyd is really set on not losing anyone on this plan. And we know how Jade feels. You know, Boyd points out a couple of possible points of failure. Like, what if using vehicles and a chain, the tree cannot be yanked out? What if the chain breaks? You know, what if something like that happens, and then the poor souls who are in the tunnels gets trapped down there? I don't know, man. Like, if you think about it, the fact that using cars to yank out a tree, not just topple the tree, but also yank it out by its roots, I don't think that's how that works. Like, you know, roots are really deep and really stable, really sanctioned in the ground too. You cannot just use like the tour bus, the ambulance, and whatever vehicles you have left. That's probably not going to be enough to not only rip the tree out from the ground, but also remove all the roots as well. But it's not like they have a chainsaw to hack down the tree and then take their time to dig down into the roots, right? So it's probably the best plan that they have. So Boyd walks off and hallucinates Kenny being shot and killed. Not only Kenny, but Jade, Tabitha, Donna, Ellis, and Abby is there too. And she just spits out blood and then Boyd just stops hallucinating. Like, Abby showed up for 1 second in this episode. They had the actress come back for 1 second. Now, I'm going to assume that the actress is either going to show up later in another hallucination or flashback, or this scene was filmed well in advance. Because it would be pretty stupid to have the actress back and have 1 second of footage. Henry goes to Miranda and Eloise's graves, where he begins to question what's real anymore. So he once again hallucinates, waking up in the hospital bed, this time with the help of Miranda's song playing from his grandson's phone. His grandson supposedly being named Sebastian, I think. And then the nurse just feeds him propaganda. The nurse just tells him if he wants to stay here, he needs to disconnect from that other reality. And the way to do that is to eliminate the anchor. Eliminate what is anchoring him from that reality. Oh, gee, I wonder what that could be. My mind is immediately going to Tabitha. If he kills Tabitha, you know, the person that is supposedly his wife reincarnated, that he could wake up in that reality and see, it was fake. It was fake. My wife is alive and well here, along with my son, my daughter, and my grandson. We did get teased that Tabitha's fate, or Tabitha's reincarnation's fate, is worse than Jade's. Jade gets killed by the townspeople, but we haven't heard what happens to Tabitha yet. The supposed worse fate for her. At first I thought her worst fate was being eaten by the man in yellow. Because Victor said he saw the man in yellow eating Miranda. Anyway, so yeah, now we're gonna see Henry do some sort of mayhem. Maybe kill someone, maybe kill a lot of people. And I can already see this probably going tragically, you know? I kind of doubt... The way I see Henry going on a murderous rampage. Someone has to stop him. Maybe Boyd shoots him to stop him, and then Henry probably dies in his son's arms. Victor probably holds his father's body, dying. I see that happening more than I see them discovering that Sophia is the man in yellow, that she spiked his drink, and, like, you know, that's why he's been seeing all this crazy stuff. That's why he's been hallucinating. So I see it playing out like that. Why, no, I see it playing out Henry dying rather than Henry learning the man in yellow spiked his drink. Okay, so Fatima gets checked again. And she wants to try controlling the monster, just like Marielle said, or suggested. Christy wants to speak to Marielle alone. And you almost think that it's because Christy wants to tell Marielle, no, we're not doing this, do not give the poor girl any ideas. But no, actually. Christy actually tells Marielle that Fatima's blood pressure is 53/33. I don't understand what that means, but according to her, that's bad. And I do understand this one. Her heart rate is 19 beats per minute. So medically speaking, she shouldn't be alive. Her heart pressure, her blood pressure is 53/33, and her heart rate is 19 beats per minute. Fatima should not be alive. So that kind of does tell me that, yes, whatever's going on with Fatima, it's probably killing her and turning her into one of those monsters. Thus, if this does play out this way, confirms my theory that you kill one of the monsters, it respawns as one of the women's pregnancies, and then that pregnancy's aftermath will turn the woman into one of the monsters. If that's the case, oh boy, Ellis, you kind of jinxed yourself by not wanting to lose her. Okay, so Ethan and Victor go to Colony House to check on Donna. Tabitha instead goes home, where the phone rings. She answers the phone, and it's Thomas on the line. She does say, Thomas does say, "Mom, it's me, Thomas. Aren't you going to say anything?" But Tabitha, she shuts that down immediately, and instead she's just like, "What do you want?" The voice tells Tabitha to go to the RV, or he'll hurt Julie and Ethan. By the way, there is no Julie in this episode. She just flat out does not show up in this episode. Maybe the actress got a week off when filming this one. It takes about a week to film an episode of TV, sometimes more. Okay, so now we flip-flop between two of the episode's ending storylines. Boyd goes back to the sheriff's station. The camera even passes the car crashed into the wall. So the car is still there. They haven't removed the car. But even though the car isn't removed, there is still a big gaping hole that the monsters could technically climb into. Well, at least they didn't forget about the set piece that is a car in the middle of the wall. So Boyd goes back to the sheriff's station, where Father Cautry shows up. Cautry tells Boyd that he needs to accept that he killed his wife. Otherwise, if he hadn't, then Ellis probably wouldn't be alive. He needs to accept the fact that he killed his wife, and also accept the fact that not everyone will survive the tunnels, will survive this plan. Right now, it's not about getting everyone home, but rather getting as many people as possible home. And, well, Boyd has a hard time accepting this. Man, all you need, Boyd, is just some no-name background characters that nobody cares about, like your Rogers and your Patty. It's just like, who are these characters? We don't care if they die. But this show with its stakes, you know, we actually haven't seen really many of our main cast characters get killed off. Nathan wasn't really that big of a character, you know? Like, the only big characters I can think of that got killed off, like our actual big cast of characters, would probably be Father Cautry and obviously Jim. So, we haven't really seen many of our main characters die. Besides Jim. So we will have to wait and see. So Tabitha goes to the RV where she finds Ethan's pictures there. For some reason. You know, they weren't even used to lure her there. She was told on the phone to go there, so what was the point of the pictures? Anyway, so Tabitha looks at the pictures, and behind her, the man in yellow appears before her. Like, actually, the man in yellow. Not Sophia, the man in yellow. He teases that she hasn't remembered who he is yet. And that she was a close friend of his once. And then he actually kinda basically confirms to Tabitha that digging up the bones is the key to setting the children free. He also warns that, or she could unleash something even worse. She could unleash even worse suffering by doing so. What the hell does that mean? Like, he actually kind of just hard confirms, yes, digging up the bones will get everyone out of here. But then he also teases, if you do that, you could be unleashing even more suffering. You choose. One thing I like is that the man in yellow actually says, "You and Jade are doing so well this time." Like, they're actually on the brink of figuring it out this time. But he also says, like, they have gone through this, they have played this game, gone through the cycle so many times. And, you know, hear me out. This actually would be a pretty solid idea. Think of like a mini series, a limited series, a prequel to From, where we see some of those previous attempts, those previous reincarnations. I am still hoping that maybe just one episode in this show, like one episode in the show, we get a full-blown explanation episode. An episode 100% dedicated to showing us the origins of this place. Showing us the ritual of sacrificing the children. Showing us how this place became cursed. Showing us the origin of everything. I hope we get at least one episode showing us all of this, instead of just us having to hear tidbits and piecing it together. Well, that's pretty much the episode. Oh, that net crack actually hurt. Well, this is clearly not the end to the show, so they're clearly teasing a season 5. Whether or not season 5 will be it, we'll have to wait and see. They still have yet to pay off. Julie time traveling again, seeing the man in yellow kill Jim, they have yet to pay that off. Who knows? Maybe that will be the season finale. Like the season finale ending, and then next season we would jump in knowing that Sophia is the man in yellow. Because remember what I said before about how I feel like they will discover that the man in yellow has been among them this whole time. Julie goes back in time to try to save her father, first of all, try to find the point in time when her father died. So she goes back, and she sees the man in yellow kill Jim. Now, she's not going to return back to the present immediately. She's going to run off into the woods, crying, panicking, processing. So she's not going to travel back immediately. However, because she's still in the past, taking her time, gathering her thoughts, grieving, she's going to see off in the distance the man in yellow transform into Sophia. And so she's going to return back to present day and warn everyone. That's how I believe they will discover Sophia is the man in yellow. But the only way for this to work is that the man in yellow, or Sophia, in the past, did not see Julie. But Julie saw his transformation. Oops. I hit B by mistake. You know, they still haven't exactly established. They dig up the bones of the children, then what? At least with Corpse Party, you had to put the souls of the children at ease. You dig up the bones, then what? Do you bury them somewhere else peacefully? Do you burn them? What do you do? Let me check something real quick. Bruh, how have I gotten 2 Shiny Staravias before a single Mime Jr.? Especially when I have Mime Jr.'s Dex perfected. You know, I smell something, and it doesn't smell that great. I wonder if my family's preparing something, because it doesn't smell great. Well, for the foreseeable future, alpha hunting the space-time distortion exclusives is going to be my life. That's going to be my life for the foreseeable future. You know, destroying my Switch's battery. Ooh, I'm also going to go pee real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. You know, one thing I did remember? So, a couple days ago, when I was driving back home from work, from the new job, there was a bit of traffic on the highway, and that was because there was a car accident on the highway. And this accident, I wonder how this even happened. Because the back of one car was completely obliterated. And the front of the other car was also totally obliterated. The way it looked, it kind of looked like the car from the back was driving full speed and rammed into a car that wasn't moving at all. Like, if both vehicles on the highway were moving at high speeds, then a little dink would not have caused that much damage. Like, the amount of damage I saw looked more like a car crashing really hard into another car that was not moving remotely close to the speed. Remotely close to the same speed. So yeah, I really question, because if they were going even similar speeds, that amount of damage I saw should not have happened. Like, I even saw glass shattered all over the floor too, because the windshields were completely wiped from existence. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. Is it bad if I say I would have loved to see what happened? Is it just me, or does anyone else feel like they always see the aftermath of a car accident? You never actually see the accident happen before you. I'm not saying I want to see people get severely injured, but I do kind of want to see the accident happen before me and not just see the aftermath. Man, I gotta wake up early tomorrow. Not for work, but I gotta take my dog to the groomers. We do the express service. So that means we get up earlier before anyone else. We pay a little extra. So that way, my dog gets to be bathed bright and early in the morning. You know, because throughout the day, other pet owners will bring their pets in, and then you'll be bathing like 3 in a row. Like, you gotta wait for your pet's turn, so your pet will be in the cage waiting. No, 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 no. We don't want that. So for us, we pay for the express. That means early in the morning, only our pet gets work done. So, like, 8 in the morning, that's when the appointment is. 8 in the morning, he will immediately be bathed, blow-dried, trimmed, all that good stuff. No need to wait, no need for anything else. No further delays. You know, call me crazy. So I mentioned at the top of this, somewhat at the top of this, that I want specifically a male Shiny Alpha Mime Jr. because it's Mr. Rime. I don't know, I kind of feel like the blue male symbol will kind of match with the rest of everything else. Shiny Mr. Rime, while being a little more desaturated and almost grayscale, still has minute hints of blue there. And then, you know, the strange ball, the green ball, will match better to that than the red Pokeball, at least. I actually don't know if you get a Strange Ball from transferring something from this game into Legend ZA. I haven't experimented with that yet. And I haven't really seen anyone else do it. I gotta experiment with that. I should probably catch a regular Alpha Mime Jr., send it over to make sure it works. Because for whatever reason, if this doesn't work, then I'm wasting my time. Because my plan is Shiny Alpha Mime Jr., send it to Sword and Shield to evolve into a Galarian Mr. Mime, and then evolve that into a Mr. Rime, to which I will send it to Legend ZA, where it will have the Alpha mark to it. Well, I'm about to end this. About to call it for tonight. Nothing yet. Oh, there is a Mime Jr. Okay, great. Let's try this, and then we'll call it. So we'll do this, and then we'll end for today. Sorry if you can hear this and it sounds nasty. That one didn't catch, did it? Did you see that mountain back there just spawn in? Damn, why are these things not catching? Yo, those Mime Juniors ran off pretty far. I still hear no shiny sound effect. Damn, nothing here. Alright, let's go check over there, and then we will call it for today. And the spawns over here are being taken up. And you know what? Before we close, before we end, one single check for the static alpha Infernape. Because this is also a hunt I want to do one day. Shiny hunting this. But it is not. You are not. You are not. Okay, well, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. See you next time.